Hello, it's Oopsy Daisy. I'm Ashley.
And it's me, the cooler one, Vanessa.
Okay, so not too bad. It's about like 2 weeks since we've done the last one. So
It's good for us. This is our best record, other than the one time we did it like every
every
week.
week. Oh my
Who were
god.
we?
I literally had no life.
You still have no life.
Yes, I do. I do a lot of work.
I don't have a life either. It's okay.
But cuz I'm in my last like coursework filled semester of school. So I'm dealing with that. And then the last thing I have to do to complete my master's is do an internship, which I got an internship through my work. So
Oh, so it's unpaid, of course.
unpaid, but I'm still getting paid because it's my job. But actually,
Fuck
Friday,
internships.
okay, I got this random ass call from this higher up person in my company,
Mm-hmm.
and like I know them because when I first started my job like 4 years ago, they had a lower position in the company, and I ended up working with them for a couple weeks. And
Mm-hmm.
then since then, they have been promoted a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they called me Friday and they were like, "Hey, we want to offer you a better job. Like, we want to promote you."
Snap.
So they were saying like it'd be a couple more dollars an hour than I currently make. So I'm like, that's a plus. But also, it's remote.
You get to stay home?
It's remote. I was like, even if I wasn't getting paid more, that I
So
would
that means
take
you get
that
to stay
damn job.
home.
Well, no, I'm gonna move as soon as I can.
But like if it's remote, it's like you can do it at home, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
you can move to where your family is and still
hmm
work.
Yeah, because like for the last couple months, I've been kind of like stressing because I was like, my lease is up after this month.
Yeah.
So and I never signed another contract to go for another year.
Oh, so it doesn't go mouth month to month?
You can't. It all depends. Like if you do like a whole year, it's I only pay like 1,000 a month.
Yeah.
But if I do month to month, it's like 1,500.
That makes no goddamn sense.
Well, they want to keep people here as long as possible to secure money.
Yeah,
So they
but you
offer
don't.
a discounted price basically for people who dedicate their time here for a year, but then they'll yeah. So I don't make the rules, but that's how my apartment complex works.
You wanna know something great?
What?
Uh the cheapest you can get probably where I live for a one bedroom or a bachelor is like 1,500 a month.
That's crazy.
It is.
Also though,
Fuck
but like
real
if you think
estate.
about it, you guys have slightly like your money's slightly more than ours.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Things that cost you guys charge a little bit more than than we do for things. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
I thought you meant like our money's worth more. Like I can buy stuff more with my. No,
No,
everything's
no.
more
I was
expensive.
saying more so that like you guys charge us like a little bit more for everything than
Yeah,
like we do. Because like I know if I go like get a book on the back, like Canada is like $3 more or something.
yeah. We don't talk about that. It hurts us.
But I guess it balances out with like free healthcare. So
It's true. It's true. That's true. I love not going to the doctor and having to pay. We still
but
have to pay
anyway,
dentist though. Dentist is the only thing that's like not under the healthcare,
which is
which is
interesting.
weird. Yeah.
But so yeah, so I'm just happy cuz I was thinking that I might have to stay here until at least June when my internship would be up,
Yeah.
which means I'd have to have 3 months worth of paying like $500 more than I'd usually
Mhm.
do. So I was like, oh, like that's like $1,500 that like I'm just like never gonna see. I'm gonna like it's
Yeah.
just like so if I can leave at least at the end from the end of April maybe, then that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can move back up closer to where my family is.
And you can see the gorgeous Lucy.
Oh my! Well, I don't know if we guys talk about it in the last
Oh,
one.
we're gonna talk about it now. She
My
got
family
oh
got a puppy, and it's a little golden retriever, and they named it Lucy, and I'm in love with it.
I'm in love with her.
I sent pictures to Vanessa, and she's just like, "You have to give me like every single detail about this doll."
Yeah. I love dogs. I especially love puppies. I especially love golden retriever puppies because they're giant balls of fluff.
Next
And
week,
that's
I
our friendship right now.
yeah.
Is give me pictures of doggo.
Of doggo Lucy.
Doggo.
But I'm literally driving 1,000 miles next week just so that I can see this dog.
I love it. I love it. I
Like
love it.
most likely, I would not be going up there, especially with this news of my new job, because I'd be like, I can wait another 2 months before I see my family. But then this dog, I'm like, I have to see it while it's still a puppy because it's so freaking cute.
Oh, they're so soft. They're so soft. Take it from someone who's had 2 golden retrievers. They're so soft when they're puppies. They're so
Yeah,
soft.
my mom sent me a picture last night of the golden of Lucy on my sister's lap, just like cuddling up with her.
Oh, beautiful.
I want to be with the dog so bad.
Perfect. I love it.
I'm very curious to see how Barry's gonna fare with it. Like he's good with other dogs, but I'm just wondering how he's gonna feel with like my attention being on this other dog.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh well. But
So
yeah,
what
so
what
that's
what's this shit about Michael though?
oh, okay. So by the time this comes out, I don't know if this is really gonna be so relevant. Uh but
Oh, I think I saw an Instagram thing from Ashley. That's what it's about with him?
yeah. So
Oh.
they had just recently, I think he said he's been staying there for 8 months, at this like condo apartment place. But basically, for months now, they've been complaining about these fumes coming up into their apartment. And they've reached out to the landlord, who is Brad Lamb in Toronto.
Okay, so
Eh,
he's back in Canada then.
who?
Michael.
He's been in Canada. When
I
has he
thought he's
not?
been living in like LA or some shit.
No.
That's right. Sorry, I'm not a freak like you. I don't follow his movements. Sorry.
I don't follow movements either, but I know he's in like Toronto. He has
I don't
been.
know. I don't know these things.
Anyway, so yeah, so they had one. They found out that the condo that they've been renting had been illegal.
Okay.
Illegal construction was done onto the place. You're not supposed to have like places of residence above car garages.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's where they live. They live above a car garage. So the fumes from the car garage were coming up into their apartment. They told,
Literally what I'm reading right now.
yeah, they told Brad Lamb, their landlord, about it, and they're like, okay, we'll look into it. Never did. So they installed their own carbon monoxide reader,
Yeah.
right? And I think last Tuesday it went off, and it was like 70 or
Ooh.
something, which is like bad.
Big
And
oof.
so they all had to, everyone in that whole condo place, there was like, I think 8 or 9 whole residents living in it.
Yeah.
Um, they all had to evacuate from their place because it's obviously very dangerous for them to stay there because of all the carbon monoxide in the air.
Yeah.
And so after the city came in, they did all the tests. They were like, this is not a safe place to live. The dude has yet to do anything about it.
Of course.
And then he told them, "You have 24 hours to get everything out of here." Like without even like with help, like people couldn't afford moving. This is like last minute type of deal. Like no one has boxes or like, they might not have any place to go either.
Um,
So it's just like insane.
they're all gonna sue him, obviously.
But okay, so well, I hope, but the carbon monoxide reader that he had installed was like all the way up in the freaking roof.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time it would have caught, it probably would have been too late.
Oh yeah, because it has to go through like how many floors?
Yeah, like it was insane. So, and then when they go down towards the garage, where there's a part of where they live, Michael was saying, it was at 100 with his lethal, like the reading.
Jeez.
So it was very close to them, like all dying.
What would you have done, Ashley?
I
What
would
would
have
you have
cried.
done if you would have gotten the news that
Like,
Michael
oh
is
my
dead?
god, like, I don't know if anyone else has known, but like, obviously, we're Degrassi people. Jamil French, he
Yeah, he's
played.
dead.
He died a couple weeks ago, and I mean, I didn't mind the character Dave, and like, I was never like a huge fan of him, but that still like
Yeah.
tore me to bits because it took me back to like my Degrassi days, and like, I could not. Like, I was just so gobsmacked when I heard about it. I was just like, "Oh my god!" So for it to be someone that I actually like am a fan of, I don't even know how I would compute.
You would have been destroyed.
But again, yeah, because I'm just, especially because I do like run the Twitter and everything and all. It's just like I would have been like devastated for sure.
Um,
So I'm glad that they're all good and everything, but yeah, it's just messed up that the landlord at this point won't take any responsibility for what he did. His negligence in one creating a um
illegal.
illegal place to live, and two for not looking into this carbon monoxide shit when he
Mm-hmm.
could have cost like almost like could cost like almost like a dozen people's lives, and like he
Yeah.
doesn't give a shit and he's not trying to help in any way at all. Like it's beyond frustrating, and I can understand why he's been talking about it so much the last like couple days.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Today's episode is called It's Our Party, and this is Vanessa's favorite episode.
I hate
um
it so much. I
can you
hate
give
it.
our summary? Can you give us a summary?
I don't think I can. I hate it so much. Literally a minute into the episode, I text Ashley and I go, I fucking hate this episode. It's only been a minute. I hate it so much. Okay. So apparently there's going to be a party for the two 13-year-olds, and they're just now having a boy girl party, which is blows my mind because I feel like I was at like boy girl parties when I was like 6. So I'm very confused. Casey wants to know football things, but instead of Googling, because Google's a thing, Casey, she goes to Derek and learns wild, wild words. And then it made me want to cry. I wanted to just cry. And that's the episode. Pain. That's it. It's just pain. I hate it. I hate this episode. If you don't know how I feel, because I've said it a million times, I loathe this episode. Okay, I'm ready.
I felt like this episode definitely was a lot more cringy
Thank you.
than a lot of the other episodes. Okay, so the episode starts with everyone around the dinner table, and Edwin brings up the fact that he's going to be turning 13, which I find interesting because if he's going to be turning 13 soon, and Derek's going to be turning 16 later this season,
Yes.
that means they're only 2 years apart, or
Yeah.
2 to 3 years apart. So that means that they should be in high school by the time Daisy is in a senior. Unless they're one of the random schools that don't have ninth grade in their school.
I mean, maybe like mine, as I told you billions of times, ours didn't have. Our high school started in grade 8, so I don't know how English
Which would
high
make them
school.
in their school anyway. So
I
I'm just
know,
saying,
which is
like,
weird. Maybe the school was just different, and it was like grade 10 to 12 because there's so many students or some
possible.
shit.
But I think they just forgot. Uh,
Maybe. I just find it hilarious how he thinks he should have a bar mitzvah even though he's not Jewish.
yeah. So, but you know what? The actor who plays Edwin, I believe he is Jewish.
I guess. So if he was, it would make sense that they'd try to play that. But like, I feel like Edwin's smart enough to know he's not Jewish, so he shouldn't be having a bar mitzvah,
But still wanting it.
but still wanting it. I think he just wants to be on a chair and like paraded around on top of everyone's shoulders or some shit. Isn't that what happened at bar mitzvahs?
I have no idea. I've been to one, and I was like 7.
I feel like they like throw the bar mitzvah dude. They have like they pull his chair up and they like parade some dude
Yeah, we didn't
up.
we didn't do that for my cousins. He just read it, and then I remember us going back to like one of our houses and just having a little party. We didn't really do anything extravagant.
Are you Jewish then?
No.
You said
My mom's sister married someone who is Jewish.
okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, you should know this if you're Jewish, Ashley.
So Lizzie then brings up that if anyone should be having a party, it should be her. And Nora's like, "We didn't throw you a party this year."
That's horrible. Like, I love how brain dead both George and Nora are. That they're like, what do you mean you didn't have a party? Oh, I don't know, because you guys were like, nah, we just had a wedding, no parties.
Yeah, we
Fuck you,
literally
Lizzie.
partied out for like
Fuck
our
you,
own
Lizzie.
kid to have a freaking birthday party. Like, okay.
What did you do for your 13th birthday?
I don't know if I did anything particularly special.
I remember mine.
I think I might have just had a couple of friends over and like with family.
I remember mine. Mine was pretty darn good. We rented out like a rec center. And I say rented out the rec center, the gym of the rec center. And it was literally just me, my sister, and our 2 friends who were brothers. And it was my parents and their parents. And we pretty much just like had the most hardcore like dodgeball game. It was hardcore. And then we had lunch, which they ordered me that like 8-foot long party sub from Subway.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I'm royalty. This is it. I made it. I got the party sub. And that's all I remember from my 13th birthday.
Yeah, I can't really. We didn't really have like big extravagant birthdays. Even for my 16th birthday, I just
Neither.
invited a couple friends and we just had this huge ass party with like my family and everything. Like it wasn't anything like big. Like we didn't rent out a place or anything like that.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't have a sweet 16 birthday party because I moved to Quebec and knew absolutely no one because I was new at the school. So who the fuck am I going to celebrate with? You know? I wasn't allowed to have good things.
but okay, so I think Lizzie more so wants it for her 12th birthday because it's like a late. Because I don't think she's older than Edwin.
I don't know, it never really says, does it?
No,
But aren't
but
they in the same grade?
I think so.
So either she like skipped a grade, or if she's younger than him, who
I
knows?
think
Or
she.
maybe
I only
he.
think like a couple months, kind of like Derek and Casey are.
Okay, because I was gonna say maybe it was like an age cutoff thing for Edwin. Like he was born at a certain point, and it had like age cutoff for this year, so he had
Yeah,
to wait an
yeah,
extra year. Like Hermione and Harry Potter.
right. Yeah, because usually after August, they towards the end of August they'll like cut it off. So any kid that was born after August might have to wait a whole.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what happened to my sister because she was born in November.
my
So
sister
when the
happened to
school
her
year was
too.
starting, she was still like 4. So they wouldn't let her come to school until the following year.
Yeah, that was like my sister. That was only in Quebec though, because they start and just go to school earlier and finish weird. So any other place in Canada, she was fine. but because of the weird system they had in Quebec, they're like, oh, you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm so confused.
So yeah, they were too partied out from their wedding to give Lizzie a birthday party earlier that year. So Edwin's just like, well, then why don't we like have a joint birthday party? Early for Ed and late for Liz birthday party. Oh, and then Casey brings up that it would be Lizzie's first mixed party, and you kind of touched on it earlier. You're saying like this was like the first time they've had like boys and girls together.
Yeah.
Like, how separated are they in this world?
That's what I'm telling you. Like, also,
Well, especially when I was younger, like most of my friends were boys.
yeah, same.
So that never was an issue for me. It wasn't until I
Yeah,
got older that I started making more friends that were girls.
same.
But
I'm trying to
like,
remember, like, what grade is 13 years old?
it's like 7th or 8th.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because, yeah, I went to a friend's birthday party, and it was a bunch of guys and girls, and they're, like, not doing that, let's all sit on one side of the house. It's like, we've been going to each other's birthdays for, like, 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when you're younger, I don't see how that's much of an issue. Because like from the time I started school, like I went to birthday parties for like almost everyone in my class.
The harmonies. The hormones.
Well,
The
yeah, but
harmonies.
it's just like, but I'm saying like to say that's their first like mixed party though. It's just like so they never did that when they were kids either.
I guess not. Segregation's a horrible thing.
But still, like it's just that never seemed like something that happened to me. I always had boys at the party, so
Mood.
and then Nora and George is like, yeah, that will be great. And then Edwin celebrates and he was like, yes. And he says to Lizzie, like, oh, some of your friends are real cuties. And I'm just like,
It's another reason I hate Edwin so much, because he's such a
I didn't
perv.
realize I didn't like him that much until I started rewatching these episodes. Because when I think back
Exactly.
on it, like I'm just like, oh, he's the little brother. Like that's not
No.
really it. But then I watch these episodes and I'm like, oh my god, Edwin is such a freaking creep.
He's a gremlin. He's a gross, perverted gremlin.
Like you have Derek and then you have Edwin who's trying to emulate Derek, but he doesn't have any of that charisma or like uh smoothness to him. So it comes off just like really creepy. Like really really creepy.
Yeah, he's gross. Just gross.
So Derek then's like he says to George and Nora, he's like, "So, do you know what you're up against? Cuz tweens are like a pretty tough crowd."
No, they're not.
And Nora and George are like, yeah, we have it handled. And like, I think they're just way too confident because of how cool they appeared at Derek's last party.
Yo, they were
Uh,
pretty. They were pretty dope. I'm just gonna put it out there. They're wild.
I just hate they just think that like tweens are just like this like horrible crowd. Like, oh, teenagers are one thing and young kids are another thing, but tweens, oh my gosh, what are you gonna do with them?
I just don't
Whatever.
remember being horrible as a tween.
I don't remember ever being horrible, so you know.
Yeah. Every time they're like, "Oh, you were like that," I'm like, "No, I wasn't."
Were you miserable, Vanessa?
No, were you smelly, as Derek says that the tweens are? I feel like dudes in high school are always smelly, no matter what.
Well, yeah. I feel like it
So
takes some people a little bit of time to realize they need to wear like deodorant or something.
yeah, well, people who are like grown adults now still won't wear deodorant, and you're just like, huh?
I'm all for you doing what you want to do, but there has to be some alternative that we can work with.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so then it goes to school, and Casey's in the cafeteria, and she's like looking around, and Kendra comes up to her and is like, "Oh, you looking for anyone special?" Casey's just like, "No, no, I'm not looking for anyone."
I can't, because every time we see Kendra, all I can think, I just go back to Degrassi every time.
Yeah, I know.
Every time, and I'm like, why is she not saying hun? Why? I have to rewatch
Are you looking for
Degrassi. I'm
anyone, hun?
sorry.
Are you looking for anyone, hun?
Yeah. I would say more things that she would say, but it's not a nice word she says.
She then says that she's heard Casey has developed a sudden interest in football, especially the quarterback. And Kendra says, no, Casey says to Kendra that they haven't gone out yet, her and Max, but she thinks he likes her. She probably would have known better if she hadn't hung up on Max in the last episode after he called.
Yeah, probably.
But she said she has to be extra careful now because she has a habit of embarrassing herself around guys she likes.
Oh, you mean Derek 24/7? Oh, didn't notice.
She's constantly embarrassing herself in front of Derek.
Hmm.
But
Shocker.
anyway, so and then of course at that exact moment she reaches for her sandwich and the milk starts to like fall off the table. But luckily Max is there to catch it. He's got some sweet reflexes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he
Uh,
gets that from his fling-flonging.
So Mass asks Casey if she's going to go to the football game on Saturday, and she's like, "Of course, I love football." She absolutely loves it, Vanessa.
Doubt.
And so Max says that, like, "Oh, cool. Like, then I'll see you after the game, and then maybe we can hang out." So when Max leaves, the girls squeal over Max asking Casey out, only for Casey to say that it's this disaster because she knows nothing about football. So then Kendra suggests she should ask Derek since he is a sports nut. And then Casey said he would never help her, but Kendra assures her that he will.
How much of a sports nut is he, though?
That's what I was thinking too, because I'm like, okay, he's a sports nut, but that doesn't mean you know everything about every sport.
Yeah. I'm a sports
Like,
nut, but I know a lot about a lot of sports.
right. So
Except
like I
basketball.
know I feel like I know the basics of a lot of sports, but that doesn't mean I could tell you everything like each position does or like their role on the team. You know what I mean?
I feel like you could if it was football, because you watched a lot of football.
Yeah, but I can't even tell you what a halfback is.
It's the running back.
Right, but then they're running back. Like I don't know what like
It's the same thing, it's just a different name. It's the guy who has the
see,
ball
I
and he
don't know
runs.
that.
He runs.
But still.
Yeah.
See, like I can't even tell you exactly what that
But
was before.
would you know that two quarterbacks don't make a halfback?
Yes, I know that's not.
Okay. That's good to know that you know that.
But still, like I still can like follow the game and everything, but
Yeah.
I don't know everything about it to the point where it's like I wouldn't be too confident saying like, yeah, that's the halfback and like be completely confident about that. So anyway, plus I could tell like if you wanted to learn hockey, yes, go to Derek. But
Exactly. Go to
you can't
Derek.
just assume that he's going to know everything about football.
It's true, though.
So in the living room, George and Nora decide to run their ideas about the party with Edwin and Lizzie. They keep using the word tween. Like that is their like word to use this episode, the tween.
I hate it so much.
And they offer to have pizza and a movie.
Let's talk about this first, though. The artwork on their ideas are superb. Who
It took
is the
so long.
artist?
They probably were like, oh, they probably took all their time just to freaking do these drawings.
Yo, they were superb.
And they barely thought out the whole like idea really just beyond the name and like drawing it. But yes, these drawings were superb. Right. Okay. So and then Edwin's like, oh, what movie are we gonna watch?
See, like, I would be so down anytime, any party, any day of the week. I would be 100% down for pizza and a movie. That's
Oh, I
just me,
know.
though.
And then, and then Edwin asked George, oh, like what movie are you planning on showing? And he's like, oh, the one with the talking dump truck? Is that what he said?
Yeah, so what? Is this like Cars?
I don't know. What was it out there? I don't know. But then Edwin's like, I already watched that at another party. So can we not watch another movie? Like, just say
Yeah.
what movie you haven't
Watch a
watched.
different movie. Like, no one hates a pizza and movie night. Just saying.
Exactly. Like, but anyway, they go to a second option because Lizzie wants something a little bit more original. So they offer a bowling and like lunch, but kids already had that kind of party too.
Again, I'd still be down for bowling.
I still would. Yeah, exactly. I can't tell you how many times we went to a bowling birthday party. How many times we went to a roller skating birthday party.
You go bowling, just don't go to the normal bowling. Go to the glow in the dark bowling alley. That's even
Well,
more
our
cool.
our bowling alley that a lot of the times we would go to, it had bowling alley and you could also do laser tag and it had an arcade inside.
Oh, we had a place like that. It was called Play Zone, and it was amazing. It had like the arcades, it had the laser tag, it had like the huge jungle gym play things. Oh,
We didn't have that, but
we
still,
went
like,
there for a birthday party, and guess what? It was fourth grade, and guess what? It was boys and girls mix. Oh my god, we're not like inventing the wheel. It happens all the time.
but yeah, so like it didn't matter how many times I went somewhere, like I still enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah, I would still go to Play Zone if it existed, and I'm like almost 30.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm old as
I
shit.
would. I would too. But okay.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest part, because like again, like I told you before, I never had parties that were like extravagant. The only time I ever had something somewhere else, we, my parents, they had my birthday party at the skate zone, ice
Oh,
skating,
yes.
and I had like a handful of friends and my family come over and we just like ice skated around the place. That was my big birthday party. I think that was like 7th or 8th grade. Maybe that was my 13th birthday party. I can't remember anymore.
It's still balling.
But yeah, that was a nice. That was like my big birthday party. So yeah, so Lizzie and Edwin start leaving. Because all these kids are having extravagant. Why do I have extravagant pirates?
What? They want to be extravagant pirates.
My notes say that they that the kids are having extravagant pirates,
Yeah.
extravagant parties. That one kid even had his party at the Maple Leafs game.
See, that would be a good party. I'm gonna say, that'd be good.
But also, how freaking like rich are they?
That's true. Like, how expensive did the parents of the party did they pay? Or was it just the birthday
Probably.
boy who paid? His family paid, or did every kid have to pay?
Oh, that's. See, I would never have someone come to a birthday party and be like, "All right, give me your money so you can come to the birthday."
No, that would be horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah, so like they would have to pay for that, and like, what if it's all like nosebleeds? Like,
I mean, nosebleeds are not that bad,
no, but they can be really scary sometimes, depending on the arena.
I
Because
guess.
I remember, like, it just felt like you were just always gonna like teeter over, and I hated that. And I was like,
Yeah, because I asked myself, because when I was in high school, we went to a Habs game, and it was one girl on the hockey team. Her dad paid for everyone's ticket. So I was like, girl, are you rich? This must have been
I
so expensive. So that's stuff I wonder. So like that kid's loaded.
yeah, that kid's probably very loaded. Or his parents rather. So yeah, so then Nora offers them to have a dance party here at the house, which I think is far lamer than the two other ideas.
Yeah, it is 100%.
But Lizzie's like, oh, I haven't been to any dance parties yet, so that's the one they're doing.
And dance party's lame as shit.
It is. You can literally do like one thing, and it's not even like something you can do that long, I feel like.
No. Again, I would just eat pizza in a corner.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, then it goes to Casey's room, and Derek comes in. He steals the newspaper out of her hands. Like, why do you have to suck the fun out of everything? And she's like, oh, I'm just trying to read the sports sections to learn about football. Which, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, Casey, to read the sports sections a little bit about football. But,
Yeah.
like, why don't you use your freaking laptop to
Yeah.
search? Like, I get that this is, like, almost 20 years ago, or maybe, like, 15 years ago, rather. But we
Google
still
still
had
existed.
search engines.
Go
And I can
off,
guarantee
queen!
you, the rules of football are somewhere on that internet.
Go off, queen. Go off.
And if not, I'm sure she is a regular member at the library where they have that information as well.
She probably is like a VIP at the library. Casey, what are you in for today? I have this fantastic book of Encyclopedia of Medical Diabetes, whatever. I'm here for a football book. What?
They give her this little kids one that
Yeah.
tells you how like everything about football in really plain and basic terms.
Yeah.
But
Oh my god. I
literally,
can't.
it's there. I know they're there. Like they
I
have books
bet
on
you.
everything.
I can't just stop thinking of her having like a laminated library membership card with their picture on it, and that's all I can think of right now.
The
Because
librarians love her.
yeah,
She
she's like
volunteers on their off hours and everything.
she
So
helps like put everything back in that weird ass library
mhm. When she's like roaming on the shelf, she's like, "Oh, that's out of order," and then
yeah, she puts in the right place. I believe it. I believe it. God, Casey's such a nerd.
so Derek is like, "All right, well, I'm gonna help you. Let's do this." And she's like, "Really? You're gonna help me?" And Derek basically got annoyed to death by Kendra because she's like, "Dare Bear, please, Dare Bear."
No.
So Casey's first question is a question that Vanessa loves. Is that do two quarterbacks equal a halfback?
No.
And
No, it
Derek
does
being
not.
Derek, he's like, yes, you're exactly right, Casey.
You're so smart, Casey. You got it. And I'm just like, I'm gonna kill myself.
And why did Casey think she could trust Derek? That I still don't understand.
We'll never know.
Yeah. So back into the living room, Nora goes over the guest list. And Edwin wants to invite all girls.
Yes.
But
'Cause
George
he's a
said that
hoe.
Lizzie's list is all girls. But when they get to Jamie, Edwin's like, oh, well, that's not a girl.
Oh, I
and
hate people.
and Nora somewhat teases Lizzie, like, oh, is he your special friend, Lizzie? Like,
Oh my god, that it reminds me. 'Cause I remember going to a family dinner before COVID, and it was like my cousins were there and my cousins' kids, and everyone was doing this to my cousin because she just turned like 13 and she had a friend who is a guy and that's what they're doing, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I hate watching this."
I know it's so frustrating because again, like I said, for like most of my childhood, I had predominantly guy friends,
Yeah.
and for the longest time, my best friend was a guy.
Yeah.
And like my whole family knew him. He used to come to like every party and everything. And that was always something he would say, like, oh, when you guys get
Uh,
older, like, and I'm just like, no, let's not do that. Like, let's
let's
not.
not do this. Yeah. It was just so
Because
funny.
that
She's
just makes
just
it like more awkward. And it's just
it
like,
is.
ugh.
It's like when you see people with like a 2-year-old and they're like, "Oh, this is his girlfriend." And I'm
Like,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, I can't wait for that kid to be gay. I just can't." And then you just think every girl he's playing with is his girlfriend. I can't wait.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. And like,
I just hate it so much. My sister does it and I just want to throttle her. She does that with her kid and I'm like, "You're gross. Stop."
well, I mean, it's just like, it's his friend. Their little
Yeah.
friend.
But she calls it his girlfriend. And I'm
I
like,
know.
"Stop. You're gross."
Mm-hmm. And Lizzie starts getting all flustered and like, he's just a normal friend. He's just a friend.
Maybe Lizzie thinks he's a friend, but Jamie acts differently. But I think maybe Lizzie thinks he's a friend personally.
Yeah, I had that feeling too that maybe like, I mean, I could see maybe she has like a thing for him, but still. But I could
Yeah.
also see her very much being like, yeah, he's just a friend.
Yeah.
And Jamie just like, Lizzie,
Yeah, I think Jamie
I
likes
love you,
Lizzie.
Lizzie.
Yeah, that's where I got. I got the vibe he loves her. But she's just like, "This is my bro."
Yeah. Oh, poor Jamie.
Yeah, he's been friend zoned.
Then back to Casey's room. Derek is helping Casey understand football, though not really. They bring in the terms the flinger and flonger, and there's a position called the pork belly.
I hate it. Do you understand why I hate it? And like instead of getting a touchdown, it's a fling-flong?
But they still call it a touchdown. Like that was what was confusing to me.
Yeah, but they're like
Because then
Derek
they
was
have to
like,
go and get the fling-flong and touchdown. Is
I,
touchdown just what they say after they get a fling-flong?
I, I think
I
so.
don't-
Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. This is why it hurts me
So he
so
starts saying
much.
this stuff, and Casey's like, wait, this doesn't sound right. And I'm like, yes, Casey, yes. Like, use your critical thinking skills. Like, don't believe him. But Derek's like, that's just because you don't understand football.
Why do you
And
think they
then,
call it the pigskin?
yeah, what do you think they call it the pigskin? Like, no one wants it. And
Ugh,
she's just like,
you're right.
oh, yeah.
You're so right,
She's so,
Derek.
oh gosh, she's so dumb for someone that's supposed to be so smart. She's so
Ugh,
dumb.
fucking hate it so much.
So yeah, but in this play, I feel like she should know better to trust him. And part of me thinks she's self-sabotaging this relationship with Max.
Yes.
You know what I
Go
mean?
off. Go off, queen. Go off.
Like she doesn't really want to be in a relationship, like subconsciously. At least not with Max. So she's self-sabotaging this relationship by believing Derek.
Go
It
off.
makes sense because why the hell else would you believe Derek?
Yeah,
And again, why would you go to Derek when you have a lot of other resources you could go to?
you so right, fam. You'd think she'd know this shit already, but apparently impossible.
Also, while they're at looking at the laptop, they are so freaking close here. Did you notice that? There's like no personal space.
Yeah, he was like enveloping her with his stature of looking over.
Yeah. So okay, and then out in the hall, Lizzie is on Edwin's back, purposely crushing the kid because he was teasing her about Jamie, as one does.
As one does.
And Casey then like brings Lizzie into her room, and she's just like, "Oh, don't worry about it, Liz. Girls mature faster than boys." And Lizzie's like, "Boys mature when?" And Casey's just like, "I wish I knew." Because obviously Derek hasn't matured at all, and he's only a
Yeah.
couple years older. And then you see someone like George, who is like 40 something, and he definitely hasn't matured either. So
It's an ongoing process. We don't know the actual maturing age.
it's like 80, and then they die, and then
Mm-hmm. And then you die. The second they actually become mature, they die.
Casey then's like, "So who's Jamie?" And then
Fuck
Lizzie's like,
off!
"No, not you too." And
Fuck
And then
off!
she's like, "We're just friends. Guys and girls can be just friends." And Lizzie's like, "Okay,
You mean
okay,
Casey?
Lizzie."
Casey
Like,
said
so, like,
that.
while we're on the discussion on boys, it's like, I have a potential date with Max on Saturday, and Lizzie's like, "Oh, so that means you're gonna miss the party?"
Who the
And
fuck
Casey's
goes
like,
to their like little sister's birthday party though? I mean, my sister went to my 13th birthday party, but I feel like Casey and Derek would never. They're like, it's uncool. It's uncool.
I don't know. I never thought it would be something like if it's something like formal, like where like even families there, then yeah, I would be there. But if
Yeah,
it's
but that's
something
different.
purely for their friends in them, then like why? Yeah, like why would I be there? Or like why
Exactly.
would I like hang around too much? Casey then's like, "Oh no, Liz, I'm sorry." And then she's like, "I get brain freeze when I like guys." And then she's like, "I can cancel." And Lizzie's like, "No, that's okay. This party's not that big of a deal anyway." But like it feels like she is a bit disappointed, but Casey's just like, "Yay!"
I hate Casey so much when she's so like goo goo gaga over guys in the
Oh
show.
my gosh.
It's like she forgets to have a brain. She has no brain
Yeah.
cells.
She has no brain cells obviously because she's talking to Derek about football. But anyway,
Ugh, disgusting.
Edwin is in Derek's room then, excited about the party and asking Derek if he's dressed okay. And Derek says not to worry about what he's wearing, and then he throws him some mints and saying that
Oof.
his first girl and boy party was Makeout City. So then Edwin starts to visibly panic, And then he goes into the closet, he checks his breath, and then he continues to then go make out with this stuffed monkey. And then Derek comes in, he sees Edwin, and then he's just like, no.
Yeah, he looked
Like,
horrified.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't see it. In the next scene, everyone is like getting their stuff ready for the party. And George said it's going to be the tween party of the year. That damn word again.
Tweener.
And Casey then comes downstairs and says she has her football cheat sheet and she's ready for the opening groin kick.
Okay. The second George turns around and is like, the what?
The what?
You should have stopped there, Casey, and been like, what? You don't know? You watch football and you don't know this?
Exactly.
That should have been your clue and been like, what the fuck, Derek? What did you just say to me? What did you teach me? Like
I get
what?
football's not that big of a Canadian sport compared to America.
Yeah.
But I feel like George would still know.
It's still like a lot of people still watch it. We don't have like a big league. We have a league. And everyone still watches it, but like everyone still roots for an NFL team here. Like everyone still follows it.
I'm just saying, like, even though it's not like such a big sport like hockey in Canada, like George should still know.
Oh, he does 100%. So he's like confused as fuck.
Yeah, so like him saying like the what now? That should have definitely like caused Casey to be like, wait, I should look at everything over again.
Yeah, you should have gone to George right away.
Yeah, exactly. And then Derek kind of just like ushers them out of the house real quick, being like, oh, we can't be late for our games and everything.
Yeah. Fuck. So dumb. I hate it.
But as Casey and Derek are leaving, all the guests come in at like the same freaking time. Like they were all just waiting outside until someone opened the door.
Yep.
But Lizzie and Edwin are upstairs hiding. They won't come down.
Mm-hmm.
So then in the next scene, you see all the guests kind of just sitting around in the dining room, just like awkwardly sitting there, not doing anything. And separated. Nora and George,
separated. Boys on one side, girls on the other. That classic dance scene.
Yeah, like, and nobody's even talking with each other. It's so creepy.
Like you talk to each other at school, most likely. Why can't you do it here?
If you're all friends with Edwin and you're all friends with Lizzie, then shouldn't you all know each other? Or does like Lizzie only have one friend per like class?
That's what I'm saying.
They never interact with any other one.
It's so dumb.
So Nora and George are in the kitchen, and George is saying that he tries threatening them and bribing them and then threatening them again to come downstairs, but they won't. And Nora's like, well, you have to force them down here. And George is like, well, what do you want me to do? Throw them over my shoulder and bring them down? And Nora's like, no, you're clearly not that, like, strong.
Yeah.
I mean, true, but do you need to say it nowhere else?
It's true. You gotta roast them like that in front of everyone?
Well, just them, but still.
They could have heard them.
Well, yeah. So Lizzie and Edwin are playing checkers in the closet, and Edwin says that, like, oh, won't your friends be mad that you're not down there? And she's like, well, I hope so. So then they won't be my friends anymore, and they can all stop teasing me about Jamie. Like, damn, girl. It's, like, freaking dramatic.
It's Lizzie, though. She's always dramatic about something.
That's the McDonald's way.
You so right, fam. You get it.
So then Casey then comes home early, and she goes right to her bedroom. And Nora's like, oh my gosh, what happened? And Casey is dramatic.
The McDonald way.
And she says that everything is over. Her life, her dignity.
You're right. You know what? It could have been much more dramatic. She could have gone and wrote poetry in her journal, but she didn't do that.
She didn't have time. She didn't have time, Vanessa.
You're right. You're right.
You know, she congratulated Max on his fling-flonging, and it was like halftime, and all his teammates had laughed, and so she like ran home.
Oh right, she didn't think halftime was the thing. She thought the game was over.
Yeah, she thought the game was over then. But then Nora's like, oh yeah, that sucks. But hey, can you fix this party for us? Okay, thanks, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Nora doesn't give a shit. She's like, we gotta get this party off.
That's to
So,
pop off.
yes. So after unsuccessfully trying to get Lizzie and Edwin out of the closet, Casey goes downstairs and tries to warm the party up, hoping that if everyone starts having fun, that the kids will want to come down. So Casey says they're going to start with a nice ice-breaking game called the necking game.
Listen.
Now everyone, even Nora and the kids, were like, "What are we doing?"
Listen, I have played this game at a party. That shit is fire. We played
Okay,
it with a
I've never done
banana.
that, and I don't know if I would ever want to do that. But that was not the game everyone was thinking in their head.
Yeah, exactly. But we played it with a banana. So we had to try and pass the banana around. But then it switched up to you had to suction a playing card to your lips and pass it. So it kind of goes up. It's a little more risque, but it's a fun game.
They do it with a orange,
You're just
but of course,
jealous.
no one wants to do it.
They're dumb. We played that at a 13-year-old party, and it was fire.
And the one kid's like raises his hand and he's like, "Can I call my parents to leave?"
That kid is
And then
rude.
Casey's all, "No, you will not leave until you have fun."
That kid is rude.
Well, yes, but also there's like, psychotic Casey there.
Classic Casey. Let's write that down. She's psychotic at a birthday party.
People have to have fun.
Yeah.
Casey then turns on the music, start to dance, but like, oh my god, what are these moves that she's doing with this dance?
You know
Like,
what?
she's supposed to be a dancer,
That's
and
what I
I've
was
never
gonna
seen
say.
someone with less rhythm.
Yo, that's me dancing. She was doing the Vanessa dance over there. My
Like,
mom
it
calls
was,
me Miss Congeniality because, in the movie when Sandra Bullock can't dance, and like
uh,
everyone's like learning how to do dancing and shit, and she's super off timing and everything. That's me, and that's what Casey was doing.
but Casey's supposed to be a dancer, and she starts dancing, and I'm just like, ah!
She's
It's like, it's
turning down her
painful to watch.
moves.
It's painful to watch.
I know, but she's like, I can't intimidate these kids with my risque dance moves. I gotta turn it down. Gotta be parental.
Mm-hmm. So that doesn't work. No one is like wanting to do anything. So then they call Derek, and he comes flying into the house, and he's like, "Who died?" And they're like, "Go look for yourself." So then he goes to look into the dining room, and Marty's in the center of the room reading kids this like kids book. And he's like, "You called me to come home right before the third period because the party died?"
But like, who answers their phone? Who carries their phone on them at a hockey game that they're playing?
Unless like they called the coach or something, but still.
Yeah, it's the fuck. The fuck is happening? Maybe he's like, yo, the girl's gotta call me and gotta keep my phone on me on the bench. Gotta answer them messages.
My god. He would though.
He would.
But in case he's like, "Oh, did I ruin your hockey game? Well, why don't we play a little football and start with the groin kick that you taught me?"
I hate it so goddamn
That was
much.
pretty savage though. I feel like.
She was just like, snap, I got you.
And then George and Nora are like, "You guys can drop kick each other later. Just get this party into swing and just do whatever you need to do." So obviously they do not care if their kids like murder each other. They just want to have a good party.
They want to be the cool parents.
Yeah, exactly. And I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. They literally said like
Yeah, they're like, our reputation.
So Derek goes and grabs Edwin out of the closet, and Casey joins Lizzie in the closet to talk. Lizzie tells Casey that it's so awkward being down there with everyone because they're teasing her about Jamie. But Casey asks if she really wants to remember this party as one where she is just hiding in a closet. Obviously, Lizzie's like, no. So she seems to be warming up to the idea. And then Edwin then tells Derek he doesn't want to go down because he's a fraud. He's not a lazy man.
No, really,
I
Ed?
wanted Derek to be like, well, no shit, Ed.
Yeah. You mean the way you talk about girls makes it's not proof that you're a ladies' man?
Yeah. And he's like, he hasn't even kissed a girl before. And like, to Derek's credit, I'm really like, he was a good brother here. He didn't tease Edwin. He even tells Edwin that like, oh, you know what? I didn't even kiss a girl till I was 15. And then Edwin's like,
you're still 15.
but you're 15 now. And he's like,
Here's the thing, though. I want to skip ahead real quick.
mm-hmm.
When Derek's just like, oh, I lied. I made him seem like I was a loser. Was he, though?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, because like he's telling this stuff, and then he was even saying like, you know, oh, girls scare me and everything, kind of
Does
like
Casey
that.
scare you?
I know that's what I was thinking, but also, I'm like, part of like I don't think everything he said was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe he lied about the age,
Mm-hmm.
like, but I think everything else he said was pretty much the truth. Because I do think girls, it essentially petrify him. Obviously, like Casey.
Casey petrifies him.
But
For good
if
reason. She'll rip his head
if
off.
all they're gonna do is kiss, he doesn't care. He's just like, ah. But if they want something more deeper, then he's just like, shit. What am I doing? What's going on? Huh?
That's why he's terrified of Casey. He wants to kiss her, and he's like, no biggie. But she wants more, and he's like, no.
So Lizzie and Edwin finally come down to the stairs, and they start talking to their friends. Derek and Casey come down, and they stand there together, watching like two proud parents. And then Nora comes over, and she's like, "How did you guys do it?" And Casey's like, "Well, I had a nice, honest sister talk with Lizzie." And Derek's like, "Yeah, I just lied to Edwin." So,
What a bitch.
It then cuts to the party being dead again. No, everyone is like still not talking. Edwin and Lizzie are off to the side, and like I don't understand why this happened again. But then Edwin is like, "Oh, well, let's start dancing." So Edwin and Lizzie decide to start dancing to get the party going. Again, this dancing is freaking atrocious. And this one kid's like, "Oh, look, Jamie, Edwin's taking your girl."
But we
so
all
then
know it's
Jamie
true.
comes in and cuts in.
We all know it's true, though, because that's the ship, you guys.
Yeah,
Lizzie
there
and
you go.
Edwin. That's the
Lesbian
thing.
people.
Unless you're Ashley
But
and you're
okay.
all about Deadwin.
Oh god. They had their moment earlier.
They have their moment anytime they talk to each other, like, and then Deadwin. Surprised he didn't do it today when they were having their brother-to-brother talk. And then Deadwin had a very important talk.
They had 2 hugs this episode, too.
Oh my god. Deadwin shippers are going crazy now. Just Ashley.
So then then Lizzie, because like Jamie cuts in, and Lizzie looks over at the other kids. He's like, let's give these kids something to talk about. And I'm just like, no,
It's so bad. It's like you're watching a horror.
Don't say shit. Don't say that crap. Because
It's
then
like...
they're both awkwardly dancing, and I'm just like, no.
They're just like shuffling. I'm just like, look at me dance.
Edwin then goes over to the girls, and he asks if anyone wants to dance. And they all raise their hands.
That's sus. Not everyone wants to dance with that boy.
No, yeah. They're like desperate. But so then he asks like, "Oh, hey fellows, let's all spread the wealth." And I'm just like,
God, I hate it. God.
I can't.
It's so gross.
But Marty then drags Derek to start dancing with her, and Casey gives them the cutest freaking look, and it hit me in my feels. So there's that at least. It hit me in my feels.
when Derek went to like grab Marty's hands to dance, I was like, okay. And then his hands kind of like, oh my god, he's gonna grab Casey? What? And then little midget hands
They
popped out.
freaking tease all the time on this damn show. Because yeah, they like randomly like do this close up on Derek and Casey's hands.
Yeah,
And then
little
you're like,
midget hands show up and it's Marty.
and then you're like, are they gonna dance? Like, what's gonna happen there? Like, obviously you know they're not, but you still like look at it and you're like, huh, I wonder. And then Marty comes in, you're like, oh, okay.
Got it. The little midget hands show up and you're like, oh, right.
And then the doorbell rings.
Ugh.
And it's Max.
Ugh.
He's like, oh, I'm done flinging flong. Or
I'm done flinging my flong.
oh, that sounds so bad. He's like, and I thought we had a date. So then Max comes in and starts dancing with Casey, which I gotta think is like so weird. Like, you just like go to someone's house and they're like, hey, we're having a dance party. Come in.
I don't know.
And then the episode ends with Edwin sitting on the couch with this one girl who's waiting for her parents to pick her up. Apparently, she told her parents to come later than supposed to because
what
she
a
wanted
slut.
an excuse. Why are you slut shaming now, Vanessa?
Because she was doing it purpose. No, I'm joking.
And then she just kisses him before she leaves. So that's the end of that episode.
I just love how she's just like, oh, I wanted to be late. I'm just like,
that girl has more game than like everyone in that house. Like,
oh yeah, she's got more game than like anyone there. She's like, I planned this shit out. I ain't afraid. Boom. And I'm like, oh my.
All right, so that was that episode. It was very cringy with all the dancing.
I saw we had a message that was sent to us, but I think you put it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading through the old ones and it was just like a slag. And I was like, oh god, I'm being called a hoe again.
What happened?
It was like, you guys are so slow at uploading the podcast like a slag. Oh. And I was like, oh no, I'm a hoe again.
People, we have lives and other shit going on. And it takes a very long time to edit an hour podcast.
You wanna edit it for us? Because that could work. Just saying.
It would be no pay, but
you just get the episode unedited before everyone else. Just saying.
Oh my god.
Just saying.
But still, it takes a while to go through an hour worth of footage.
It's so true.
And
I die every time I was forced to do it the 2 times. I was like, I can't do this.
I'm like, Vanessa, how far did you get? Again, I don't know how I used to do it every week.
Because you're hardcore. You're the best.
I don't know. But yeah, so.
Hardcore. You are a strong girl.
Strong girl.
You are a strong girl. I love that story so much.
I know.
It's so bad. I'm going to go read that again.
Something the latest episode that we posted that. Hold on. Oh, someone posted in the last episode because, we're starting on season 3. And they're like, this is the season where everyone thought they'd be doing it.
I mean, are they wrong? No, they ain't wrong about that.
But also someone was talking about how this episode was very interesting on a couple fronts. One, in the second season, you had Derek being appalled that Scott would cheat on Casey and like
then
the other
he went
girl.
And did that shit. Yeah, off.
And two, that Casey was so dead against Derek and cheating and all, but she forgave Truman in the 4th season.
I fucking hate this show so much.
So just that episode, like, it's just,
Show's canceled. I hate it. We've canceled this show. It's over. Fuck life with Derek. They disgust me. Goodbye.
You say you, like, hate, like, every episode.
It's true, but this one the most.
I feel like every time we talk, you're like, I hate it. I hate this episode. I hate
It's
it.
true because it's so cringe that I hate it. You know when you get secondhand embarrassment by watching shit?
Some of the whole episode, every time they danced, I was getting like secondhand
Yeah, that's
embarrassment.
me
I'm like,
this
oh my
whole
god, why are you
episode.
doing
Like,
that?
that's why I hate it.
But some of them aren't that bad. Like, I still. What was that one line? Because it's just like because like there's certain parts I definitely like. I genuinely laugh because it's still like a funny ass show. But
Just hurts me.
okay, guys, so that's it for this episode. If you want to send us some questions, you could always do so at Oopsy Daisy. Um, actually, no, at daisy.tumblr.com or on our Twitter at Oopsie Daisy Pod. Or you can give us a voice message, which is always in a link somewhere. And yeah, so until next time, bye bye.
Yeah. I hate this show.
Bye bye.